You should be good. Yeah, you should be good. Welcome in to a special edition, special episode with a special guest. Right now, we've got owner, founder, operator, whatever you want to call them. All wears
All
many
the
hats,
above.
if you will. Jake
I'm all
Flippo of the Bad Day Hat Company. Thank you for hopping on tonight with us and chat a little bit about what you got going on and the Vols, of course.
yeah. Thank you for having me. So it's an honor.
Absolutely. So obviously you love hats.
Yeah, big hat
I,
guy.
yeah, I don't think you'd be in the business if you didn't like them. But more importantly, you love the Vols. So I know we're going to kind of get into the hats here in a second. But like, tell us how you became a Vol fan.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm born and raised in a small town outside Chattanooga called Saudi Daisy.
Okay.
Becoming less of a small town, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, my first Tennessee game was Philip Fulmer's last home game. Y'all can fact check me on that. I was pretty young. I was like 6
Okay.
or 7. But just grew up a Tennessee fan. My parents are huge Tennessee fans, so it just kind of came natural. Then whenever I got to high school, one of my best friends was a huge Georgia fan, so it made me that much more of a Tennessee fan. And yeah, I mean, the games I went to, like I always somehow ended up at like I was at like 2015 Georgia, the Trevor Daniels punt that went out on like the 1 foot line, 2016 Florida. So it's pretty hard to go to those games and not become a humongous fan. So
Sure. And you mentioned Saudi Daisy. Just fun fact. Let's connect to me and Landon here. We went to a school called South Oil,
yeah,
SD. A
SD.
lot of similar logos, apparently. I've actually been mistaken. People will be like Saudi Daisy,
Yeah,
which is
San Diego
interesting.
Padres.
Yeah, we were at a bar in Asheville a couple years ago, and I was wearing an SD hat or an SD shirt, and someone was like, "You're from Saudi Daisy too?" I was
Dude,
like,
that's
"Man, you're
sick.
so excited. I wish I was, but no,
Hey,
unfortunately, I'm not."
people love being from Saudi Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The saying is, if you ain't from Saudi, you ain't nobody. So people are proud of it.
Oh, I
I
like that.
now know what to say when people mistake me for a Saudi Daisy local.
Hey, yeah, you'll blend right in if you say it.
Also, Jake went full on to Trevor Daniel. He threw in a punt.
Yeah,
It
you're
got
just
Caleb fired up. I
special
could
teams
see
guy.
him right there.
Hey,
Yeah,
big point guy right there. You can pat back.
we love special teams around here.
Come
Yep.
on, come on.
Did I what sparked the idea to start a company that was producing these hats? Was it like were you drawing inspiration from others, or were you like, I need to make better hats than what's out there?
Yeah, I think like you said, I'm a big hat guy. Like some of my friends would joke. Like, I mean, I had over 100 hats. Just big hat guy. At some point, I was like, well, it kind of started in high school. Me and my buddies made this like outdoor page, hunting and stuff, and we're trying to like figure out how to make like apparel for it and be profitable with it. And so, I mean, it took a couple years for me to kind of figure it out, and by the time we figured it out, the page, I mean, it had like 20,000 followers or something on it. I think it still does. But I was kind of like phased out of it. I already went through like a whole college degree since then and stuff. And so I was just kind of like, I kind of figured it out. It was like, I'm just going to start creating some cool stuff. And then I started out with like some outdoors hats, like some duck hunting hats and just different things like that. And Drew Beam, he hunts a pretty good bit. He had kind of hit me up. And I was like, yeah, we can. I'll send you some hats. Which he's just a great dude. Overall.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can kind of touch on that a little bit later. But so kind of just started as a little side business, kind of for fun, and then made a couple like samples of Tennessee hats, got in front of the right people, and people loved them. So kind of went from there. And I'm humongous Tennessee fan. Love humongous hat guys. So just kind of blended the two. Wanted to make stuff that people like, that honestly that I like, and hopefully that other people like as well. So now we're kind of ended up here.
I love that. Yeah. Beam's a friend of the pod, so this has come full circle.
Yeah, he's a dog.
So what about the name? The name has to stick. And it seems to. So how did you come up with our name? Is it's not just like Tennessee related. It was kind of an inside joke. So how did Bad Day Hat Company come about?
Well, so whenever I started, I was like, it was before I was married. I was living with like 6 of my best friends. And the first hat I put
dudes.
out, that kind of, wait, what'd you say?
A lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes. Yeah, good time. So the first hat I put out was like bad day to be a duck, and it did really well. And so it's kind of funny. It has nothing to do with anything really. Like nothing to do with what I do now, like just like making cool hats. And so the original name for the company was Dirty Mallard Hat Co. So I was kind of like doing like the outdoor stuff and whatnot.
Mhm.
So then but that kind of limits you, if your company's name's Dirty Mallard, it really, you can do duck hunting stuff, and that's about it. And so that first hat did really well. And like I went downstairs in the house. It was like a 6 or 7 bedroom house. I mean, it's humongous. And I went downstairs. One of my best friends, Spencer, was down there. I was like, should I change it? Should I change it? Should I change it? And he was like, dude, just change it. I was like, okay. And so then just like changed the name of it. Like there was like I had like 1,000 followers on Instagram or something at that point. So it wasn't like, that big of a deal. But so then it became Bad Day Hat Co. And it's kind of funny. Like everyone's like, your name's catchy, your name's catchy. And like genuinely, like I never thought about that one bit,
Oh yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
It's also just I don't know if it was meant as like a jab's not the right word, but kind of in jest as like for a Tennessee fan that we have so many miserable, but it like works that like that's a lot of the hats you're making is for Tennessee fans. And
yeah,
we like to say it's like a bad, like you said, a bad day to be a duck, and you want to be like a bad day to be a gator or whatever, whoever we're playing. I'm like, sometimes I wake up, I'm like, it's just not a great day to be a Vol. It's a bad day. So it works. It for sure works.
My first memories were Philip Former's last game, and like the first game I remember being like really sad about was the Mount Cody game. Like I remember sitting on my buddy's, like my neighbor's front porch, just like being sad. Like that's the start of it right there.
Oh yeah.
Is your earliest memory as a Tennessee fan misery? Like, are those the first memories? Period.
Yeah, Tennessee football for sure. I remember us beating Kansas on like Thanksgiving or something. Whenever I was like 6, I was like young, like 5, 6 years old. I'm pretty sure CJ Watson was the point guard of that team. And like that's like, that's my first memories of Tennessee basketball. But yeah, I mean, pretty much misery because Bruce Pearl had left, and it was we had Donnie Tyndall and
there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
you've been through it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a loyal guy. I joke with my wife, like, there's no chance. I've been through it all with the Vols.
Yeah, we're stuck in it.
Yeah.
We didn't really choose this life; it chose us.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had a lot of really cool people like wear your hats. I know, like you've posted about Zach Bryan.
Yeah, that was insane.
What about have you had any others that's been really cool?
Yeah, I mean, so he's become a really, really close friend. So Steve Hammer, the guy who does he commentates the basketball games.
Oh, yeah.
So like 2 or 3 months ago, I was like walking into the Vol shop. I had like I was actually walking to meet a professor because I was going to talk with a class up there. And so I was walking near the Vol shop in that little like dining area up there. I was meeting the professor up there, and I was walking in, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's Allen and Wade Houston right there!" And so I was like, "Allen," and you never really know how people are going to react in those situations, And so he turned around, and like I got to talking. He was like, I had a bunch of hats with me. I was going to go hand out to that class. And he was like, "So what is this?" And he started talking to me, and I was like, I realized that it was his dad right there too. And then Steve started talking. I was like, "Holy crap, I know you too." And so that one was a pretty cool one. Steve's become like a really, really good friend, and Alan's like doing some cool stuff up in Knoxville. So that's a pretty cool one. I mean, this Zach Bryan one was pretty insane. Like, my wife were up at the concert, and I'm a pretty big Zach Bryan fan. I knew that he was going to go out, he was going to leave, and he was going to come back out for revival. And so I was like kind of sitting there waiting. I was hoping to catch him on the way to the stage where he was so dialed in on the guitar, but on the way out, it was hilarious. I mean, like, you give your buddies hats, but you don't really give someone a hat off your head, you know, like that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
a thing you do. And so it's hilarious. Like my wife, I was like, video this to my wife. And so he's walking by and I'm like, Zach, take my hat. He takes it and he goes to put it on. He turns around and kind of double takes at me. And he's like, what the heck? But then just kept walking. And so that one was kind of a funny one because it was definitely something that, like, you know, he was like, he kind of looked, he was like, what the heck? This dude just gave me his hat. But then he posted about it on Instagram. He put it on his Instagram story, and that was pretty neat.
That's probably, I mean, it's better. At least he got something he can wear. Like he probably gets all sorts of things thrown at him on stage. Brawls, namely, I'm sure. So yeah, that's probably the best gift he's gotten on stage. Like win for him.
Yeah. It was pretty neat. It's pretty neat. You know, there's been a lot of athletes up at Tennessee that have been really, really good to me too. Like I kind of mentioned Drew. Like he hit me up before I was doing Tennessee stuff, and you know, whenever I kind of started to get into the Tennessee world, like he you know, he was talking to different stores up there, Alumni Hall, just different stores up there for me. So he's a good dude. I feel like I kind of owe a lot to Drew. He helped me out a ton.
Yeah, that is awesome. I didn't know about that connection. Is he kind of what got you? What like eventually led to doing so? Because I feel like you've done quite a bit of Tennessee merch now, and what started that venture?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole like licensing process that goes
Right.
into it. It's kind of a lot to explain. You know, you kind of got to get your stuff in front of the right people, and they got to like it. It's got to be unique. That's one thing they care about a lot. But I mean, yeah, Drew he, you know, it's there's like licensing directors and stuff. It's not really, it has to do with like athletes or anything.
Right.
Like they don't really get pulled. Like a lot of times ends up being like the athletic department, the licensing department that kind of does all that. But
just like once you got over that hurdle, it was like, all right, let's fire it up.
Let's ball, yeah. I mean, I have all these like ideas and stuff, and there's this market, like people are trying to do stuff, and I really pride myself on like being unique, like kind of doing cool designs, cool hats, like different styles. Kind of really like trying to bring in that vintage style into like kind of like modern, you know, like comfortability and, you know, that kind of stuff, modern designs. Kind of mixing the two. But really at the end of the day, like I just kind of want to make cool stuff, cool hats that, you know, that I like, and if I like them, then hopefully other people like them as well.
Yeah. What's the favorite hat? It doesn't have to be Tennessee necessarily. What's your ultimate favorite? That one?
Yeah, it's so comfy, and I just think it's sick.
Yeah, no, I'm not a camo guy, but I think I'm gonna have to, after seeing it, I'm gonna have to get one. Like it is a sweet hat.
I'm telling you, you put it on, it's the most comfortable hat I've ever worn.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Sorry, boys, my internet went out, but I'm back. What was your favorite hat before this one? Because this one's a new one, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the Great Day to Be a Vol one, like that was kind of the first one I ever put out. You know, it's kind of OG. It's kind of one of my favorites. I honestly just really love corduroy hats. I think they're just sweet. I think they fit really well to your head, and I think they do really well with like colors. How they just like, especially the orange and white, like it pops so well, and like you can kind of put the black outline around the outsides of it, and it just makes it look good. So most of the corduroys I really love. I'm not like I like golf hats and like kind of athletic style hats, but the trend is like those kind of higher crown hats, and and most people love those. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of like the high crown hats, but
they sell.
People like them.
Yeah.
How many hats do you own personally now? Not like in stock. So you said about 100. What are you at right now? And full disclosure, this is a comparison because I haven't counted lately, but at least 250.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got me beat now. Like ever since I have a hat company, I don't really wear other hats, you know.
Oh, I respect that. Okay.
But you know, before this, I was definitely up in like the 100, 120, 130 range.
Are you like me? Do you look at them and kind of get disgusted with yourself, how much money you have in hats?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot, about how I could probably, like, there's a couple G's in the hat room. So
I've got a small box, not a big box, thankfully, but I got a small box in like with my now summer clothes, like when I just like move clothes out that I don't wear in the winter. And there's a box in that room of just hats that I need to go through and get rid of. But
I'll tell you this, I'm about to we're about to make it work. But my father-in-law made these hat racks that are top tier for me. He actually just took them back because he's gonna upgrade them.
Mhm.
So pretty soon it's all gonna be like I'm gonna sell them for him, but it's gonna be through like he's gonna be the one like making them and taking the money in.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be making some pretty neat little hat racks that they're pretty high. They're really high quality. So that'd be something to look forward to in the future.
Yeah.
Too.
Is that what are you using right? How do you store your hats? What's your go-to?
Well, used to put them up on the wall, kind of like a hat rack, and then I got married, and that ain't fly anymore.
Nope.
And so they're just kind of stored.
I like it.
Okay.
But I don't wear them anymore, so it's kind of like they're just over there.
Back there now.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, do you do all the artwork, or is there anybody kind of lending in?
Yeah, I do. I've outsourced like one or two designs that were like pretty complicated that I didn't even get to do anything with. One of them was like it was probably my favorite design. It's like Smokey, like holding a rifle, and he had his foot up on an elephant, but couldn't sell that one. And yeah, I mean, but the rest of it I do. I probably have about 1,200 designs like across the board. And some of those are other schools and stuff because I just got some other licenses with other universities. I'm trying to have 7 to 10 going into next football season. Wow. And so I have do a ton of design work. So I'll do like design days, or like whenever I'm like, if I can't sleep at night, I'll just like stay up and like do designs. It's that part of it's really is like my favorite part of it. So it's a lot of fun for me. But yeah, got a ton of them.
Oh, I was going to ask if you were kind of expanding to more schools. Can you release those?
Yeah, so I got LSU and Clemson, and I'm going to this tailgate, this like sports licensing and tailgate show like next week. So we'll see how I do there. It's like my first time, doing anything like that. Like, truth is, like I'm kind of learning how to like be a businessman, I guess you can say. Like I'm not like I'm not like a businessman by any chance.
Get it.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna go out there. We'll see how we do. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to have 7 to 10 going into next football season. We'll see what happens with it.
Those first, like Clemson's and LSU both have like great colors and unique, like they're Tigers, but they have like unique aspects to them. Like those will be fun to start expanding with.
Yeah, so I have a ton of like samples and stuff. Like I'm pretty big on like I want to bring like uniqueness to the market. I want to do things differently than a lot of like apparel companies. And so yeah, I mean, those designs and stuff, like it's fun, but we'll see what happens with it. I mean, I have a good proof of concept for like a business plan, like with this past year with Tennessee. So if I can duplicate that at other schools, and just bring cool hats to them as well, like, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm interested to see like, when did you kind of know like, oh man, this is like taking off? Like, was there a point where you're like, I made it?
Well, I wouldn't say made it yet. My goals with this are like, I'm a huge Tennessee fan. Ultimately, like at the end of the day, hopefully, like the University of Tennessee is one that benefits from the most. If my company goes and like does something big, like my goals with it is to like go and like compete with like the 47s and the New Eras of the world. That's my goals for it. Like going into football season this year, like I had no clue what to expect. Like the people there, like in the industry, like that I became like friends with. Like I would sit there and ask them like what do I need to order? Like what do I need to have ready for football season? And they're all like, I mean, you don't really know what, like if people are going to buy it, if people aren't going to buy it. Like you can kind of assume like, oh yeah, those are cool hats. Like people will buy those, but with Vol Twitter and everything, and like me being a Tennessee fan, like it was easier than it will be at other schools for me to find like the people that would want to, wear the hats. But I had no clue what to expect going into football season. And I like to go to the games. I like to travel for them. So that cut down on time a pretty good bit as well. But I mean, it was just busy. I went into it and I told my wife like like 2 seasons ago, like it would just be cool to see one of my hats inside Neyland Stadium. And like week 1 game this year, I went in and like saw like 75 of them. And I was like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen them all. I mean, especially the early ones I've seen early on a ton, or I saw earlier this football season, where I hate Alabama it wasn't exclusive to like the third Saturday in October.
Yeah.
And then it's a great day to be a Vol. I think we had an I hate Alabama at our golf tournament this October. In fact,
we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
A golf tournament.
Yeah, it was our first year. So we're ramping it back up. Well, if you're interested in playing, it's the bye week, October. I guess we haven't released the
October
date, but
4th.
yeah, now you got early insight on that. October 4th. So yeah, it's a bye week. It's perfect. Good little crowd. And yeah, we had it. We might have had more than just that, but I remember the I hate Alabama hat was there.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, I'll show up for the golf tournament. Y'all need to invite Drew to it.
I tried to get Drew, and I think he was doing some kind of training because we have a good relationship with his family because I've been a season ticket holder. So his dad actually came up to me his freshman year, and he's like, "Hey, man, I listened to your show," and I was like,
"That's pretty sick."
I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, what's your name?" He said, Jason Beam. I was like, "Oh, you're Drew's dad. Okay, okay, I got you."
That's awesome. They're cool people. They like the first time I met Drew was we went and played golf, and pitchers, like, because they use their hips and everything, their swing speeds are absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
We got up on like the first tee, and whenever you play golf with people that you never played with, like you're always a little bit nerves and nerves kind of hitting, you're like, so I get up there and he hit, we were playing a 2v2 scramble and he hit first, and I like kind of started like laughing, and he played a pretty big slice and it went pretty far right, and I was like, I promise I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like kind of taken back by how hard he was swinging the golf club. And so we get to like hole 17. I was like, Drew, just try one thing for me. It was like have you ever played Avalon?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've been out there.
So there's like a drivable par 4 that's like downhill. There's like water on the left. It's like drivable if you hit it well. Like it's like 320 down. It's like downhill, so you can kind of like run stuff up there. I was like, just try one thing for me. Just like feel like you get to the top and feel like you're pulling that club through, because he was like doing the slice.
Yeah.
Like, feel like you're pulling it through. And I'm not kidding you. He hit the ball 345 yards.
He's a big dude too. So like, I bet that club can whip.
Well, his dad played semi-pro golf, I'm pretty sure. So
oh wow.
So he's
got a little bit of it in the blood.
Yeah, it's just natural.
Yeah, I mean, but dude, he drove it over the green. The green was like 320. The ball mark was on the other side of the green.
And he's only gonna get better now. He's got way more time to just play golf. Like he's just
yeah, like it was pretty insane. It was pretty freaking. It was one of the most absurd things I've ever seen on a golf course, for sure.
Yeah, baseball players are different. That they can just get out and hit the golf ball like that. And I'm very jealous of that.
Yeah, we played with Xander, and he was the same way. Obviously, he probably wasn't. He's not as big as Drew Beam, but he also ripped the golf ball.
Yeah, those pitchers, man, because they use their hips on everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your hips through with a golf club, and you're like an athlete like that,
it's going somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get you that information, and then we'll have to get you up to play sometime. We play Iguani a lot.
Yeah, that's our home course.
That's where we took. Yeah, well, pump the brakes there. I've got 2 home courses then.
Okay. Well, my home
never heard of it, but
Iguani. Oh, it's a great course. It's awesome. It's it's technically in Rockford, which is like Alcoa area.
Mhm.
Really, really nice course. Always in great shape. So yeah, it's a fun course too. It's challenging, but it's got enough fun to kind of balance it out.
Yeah, we
Yes.
donate some balls. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We there's this course down in Chattanooga. It's called Moccasin Bend.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like every single hole is like 330 yards, par 4, and like the par 5s are like 470, like 480.
Yeah.
But during COVID, one of my buddies was working there, and that's whenever I started playing. And we played a couple times, and after playing a couple times, he was like, "Hey, if I'm working, everything here is for you. Everything here is for you. It's for free." And so I got like during COVID, when none of us had anything to do, I just like got to go out and play like free golf, hit free range balls, dude. It was the time of my life.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
you're out in Saudi Daisy. You played Sweetens Cove any?
I haven't. I
No.
like one of my friends worked there.
Okay.
And there was a couple of times where they were like, "There's a spot open here. There's a spot open here."
Yeah,
Just never pulled trigger on it.
Yeah, that's the challenging part. I'd love to get out there for like I've only played one round. I'd love to go for like a full day though, and just play as many holes as I can. It's a cool course, which I know they're closed right now actually.
Yeah, they got. I think that storm, or was it? It might have been the hurricane storm. I think something.
It was the flooding 2 years ago, I think, and they just never. I don't think they were happy with how it recovered, and so they were like, "We're going to close it down and get it back into shape." So
yeah. But did you know that there's 2 of like the top 5 9-hole courses in America are like right outside of Chattanooga?
No, I would assume Sweetens is one.
Sweetens and Sewanee up on the mountain.
Okay.
It's like they're both like top 5 9-hole courses in America. I'm pretty sure. It's just kind of crazy,
Wow.
like outside Chattanooga.
Yeah. No, there's some. I mean, a lot of the golf's private up in Chattanooga, but there's some awesome courses around there.
Dude, you gotta come to Mock Bend with me. That's what I call it, my home course.
There you go.
I'll check it out. I've never played there.
If you like short par 4s, short par 5s, and pretty easy par 3s, it's the course.
It sounds like I could shoot a 90 there any day of the week.
Oh yeah, I would definitely shoot over 100. But that's
okay. There's like 3 places to go be on the course, so
okay. Yeah. There you
go. That's perfect.
What so do you have some more hats coming out soon? Do you have a release date?
So I don't have any planned releases yet. I'm kind of working on like kind of building up just sampling out a ton of hats right now. Okay. I got some cool stuff coming. See if I can find a couple pictures. Okay. Have y'all seen like the black and like orange like stars?
Oh yeah, that's sick.
So those I'm pretty excited about. I have another camo one that's coming that I'm pretty fired up about. Let me see if it's right here.
Ooh.
Oh, that does.
What's your favorite Tennessee logo?
I think the Rifleman.
Rifleman.
That script volunteers is sweet under it. Is that how you prefer it, or the Vol Star?
Oh, I mean, I think it kind of depends on like what you're trying to do with the design.
Yeah.
Like this one, like it fit really well.
Yeah, that one looks perfect.
Rifleman right there,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of the cool part is like, especially at Tennessee, like they're pretty good at letting their the people making stuff like be pretty creative, which I think is a huge win for like them and just for fans too. Like some of these schools, they have like logos locked up, they have different things like that.
Right.
Which like it's their decision, like they get to do that. But I do think that like at Tennessee that lets people be creative. It gives the fan base like a lot more just gives them more options. A lot more room to make like cooler stuff.
For sure. Any plans for any plans for what I call the Walmart Smoky? You know the one I'm talking about?
Is that the
it's like the weird oval one.
Yeah.
Like that one. It's such a weird logo. There's so many good Smokies.
Don't even worry about sampling it. Don't.
Yeah, it's hilarious because I have a blue tick.
Oh really?
So I've like people were like, you need to make her name's Neelan, which her and Neelan don't really, but it makes sense to me. But people have been like, oh, you need to make a Neelan hat. You need to make a Neelan hat. And I'm like, it's just kind of hard to do stuff with that smoky design with any of the
Right.
smoky designs really on a hat. But we'll see if I can cook something up here soon.
Okay.
I'd buy a Neeland hat for sure.
Yeah, Neeland hat.
Have you thought about like, has anybody hit you up for like NIL stuff to like? I know you had the Drew Beam themed one. Are you doing kind of any more of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I have some different things like I'm working with just have some different things like coming up in the future that will be kind of like more NIL based.
Okay.
But I haven't really like you know, went into like the NIL world a lot. Like the guy who just committed, Isaiah Campbell, he like committed and like his whole family like put on I sent him like 6 hats for his whole family, so they all put on one of the hats. And one of my
You're
friends,
an insider. You knew.
well, dude, it's kind of hilarious. One of my friends was like, "So you're in the NIL space now?" I was like, no, dude, I did not ask him to do that," which is kind of cool. Like, that 18-year-old kid that like, just committed, like he's like a D1 athlete. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna like take the time out of my day to post about them. It's just pretty neat. Like, shows a lot about his character.
And it wasn't like a local kid either. He was from
No.
North Carolina, so that's
he's from North Carolina. But it's funny, he like followed me on Twitter like a month and a half before that, and I just DM'd him and was like, "Hey, if you need any hats for your commitment, hit me up." And he was like, "All right, bet." And he was like, "Can you send them here?" I was like, "Sure." But like, it wasn't like, I didn't ask him to post about it or anything really. Like, he just did it, which is pretty neat.
Did you have the thought in the back of your head, like this could be the hat he throws? Like this could be the pump fake commit. Potentially.
That would have been tough. First one that I send out to like which I mean, it was good, great.
Yeah.
Exposure. Like it's
Yeah.
like the whole family had it on. It's pretty neat. But dude, that would have been tough. It would have been a bad day.
It's one of those like you gotta spin it and just be like, yeah, like you gotta just post everywhere. Like that was my hat.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I don't know if like Vol Twitter's crazy enough that it would have been like it's Bad Day's fault,
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, you would have been at fault for sure.
Yeah, and somehow Vol Twitter was spun it where like no one was buying Bad Day hats anymore. Tough scene for the kid.
That's funny.
Well, we're glad it worked out the other way. That's an awesome story. I didn't know all that. That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like it shows a lot about that kid that just kind of went out and started posting about it. Like he posted about it on Instagram and Twitter. So pretty neat.
What was it like kind of seeing all the hats on the field for the Alabama game this year?
Like in the pictures? All the pictures?
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. So I was there in 2022. And like, so like, second. It's like I had this picture of like,
oh, you said?
Yeah, I gave Cedric a cigar, and like lit it for him. So that's pretty cool. And then like we ran out there and I didn't think we were gonna rush the field, and we ran out there sure enough. And so we went out and I was out there. I was like running around seeing the hats. I was like just gonna take pictures of them because it was just a neat experience to see them all out there on the field.
I meant to show you this. I don't know if I sent this to you, but this is my dad on the field, and he has the I Hate Alabama hat on.
Dude, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Got the cigar.
Right, oh yeah, have to.
And I've got the camo loaded in the cart. So once we get off here, it's getting shipped to Knoxville.
That's awesome.
Come on.
Yeah, you sold it, right? Wearing it. You sold it.
Yes, sir.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
They're comfy. Just keep telling people that.
That's awesome.
Well, we appreciate your time. Yeah.
This has been awesome.
We'll get some golf scheduled here soon, and we're excited to see some of the new releases. And man, we love the product. Obviously, you can tell, and man, we're pumped for you.
Yeah, dude. Thank y'all for all y'all's help. And a big part of like my whole kind of like marketing plan like relies around like people helping me. So I'm really, really thankful for it. And like I write notes on all of the orders. It's because like genuinely I am thankful. Like it's kind of a dream job. It's just a lot of fun, being able to create stuff like this. And if it wasn't for people like y'all that were like genuinely like helping me out a ton, I don't know if it would have kind of taken off like it did this past football season. So seriously, guys, thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love it. Yeah, more options. And I mean, this is something that like I think Tennessee fans needed. They needed like bring back the logos, the Vols, let's keep it old school, but then you have the new school involved with it too. I just think it's a little bit of everything and just kind of gives fans more options than just a regular power tee. Nothing wrong with power tee, but we would like a little bit more options sometimes.
Yeah, it can get bland pretty quick.
Yeah.
Couple things I am kind of working towards, like doing kids hats in the future.
Okay.
And then with these, I kind of not prototype, but tested out like sized snapback hats. So a lot of people, a lot of especially dudes that have bigger melons, they're like I can't wear the hat, I can't wear the hat. So I'm gonna test it out. Those it went really well. So
Sweet.
hopefully we'll be having most of our hats will be size snapback hats, and all the hats are snapbacks. I'm not a big fitted guy, so I'm not really gonna make them fitted.
No.
So we'll have size snapbacks, and then hopefully kids hats going in the next football season as well.
Okay, awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Well, everybody go check out Jake and Bad Day Hat Company. And Jake, we appreciate you, and we'll play some golf soon.
Hey, come on, boys! I'll see y'all on the course.
All right, see you, man.
Thank you,
Yeah, boys.